What's up, everybody? You are very welcome along to Monday Light's Late Night Agenda. It is Monday, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Monday. Let's just go with it's Monday, because at this point, every day is just rolling into another one. What I do know is, it's one day away from the next Euro game, so we're all confident on that one. How are we? I hope we're all having a good time. I hope that you guys that are in the UK got some good news that, you know, full sporting events will be back, I think, from July 19th or something like that, or 17th, which means Liverpool will have a full Anfield for Premier League games, which is great to hear. We do have a lot of stuff. Again, stuff moves very, very quick in the world of football, and again, everything I'm going to say tonight is a conversational topic, and I'm not claiming to have any inside knowledge, but let's have a conversation around the players that have been mentioned and see how we all feel. Sound good? Let's get to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this stream has been brought to you thanks to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, and don't forget about Boyle Sports' fantastic €10 or £10 no-lose offer around every England game during the Euros. Go and stick a tenner on any market involved with the England game. If it doesn't come up, Boyle will refund it to your account as a tenner free bet. That's open to UK and Irish residents, age 18 plus. How are we? Hi Craig, nice jersey, thank you. First time I've ever worn the jersey on the stream because, you know, I always get dogs abuse. Oh, look at that Liverpool jersey. Seem to get away with the MLS ones alright, but yeah, look, I've had this jersey for ages. I love it, and I'm wearing it tonight and I don't care. So there you go. Nah. Right, what have we got? I heard we're close to Sanchez and Saul. Right, well, let's have a little talk around which one of them will we start off with tonight. So there's two stories sort of, one from Kevin Palmer and one that Kevin Palmer commented on. So let's start with the one that Kevin Palmer... which one is his? 1 second. There's two things here. Right, let's start around the whole stuff around Danny Ings, shall we? Let's have a little talk about Danny Ings. So let's bring Danny Ings up on the screen right now. So what do we know about Danny Ings, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we know that Danny Ings is not going to sign a new contract at Southampton. He's been offered a new deal which would make him the highest paid player in the club's history, and he said no to signing it. Now, what the hell has this got to do with Liverpool, you're probably asking yourself? Well, Kevin Palmer made a very good point, and he said, why not do a little swapsy, send Takumi Minamino to Southampton if they want him, and take Danny Ings back to Liverpool. Now look, it would be a punt, I'll be the first one to admit that. Danny Ings had a very bad injury record at Liverpool. Very, very unlucky, I would say. But I tell you what, I wouldn't half mind having Danny Ings as an option. Now, I would say he probably wants more first-team football. I think that's probably a given. But I just get the feeling that there's some unfinished business with Ingsy in Liverpool because, you know, what we've seen when he's fit at Southampton, the man knows how to score goals. The man knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. He was always very well liked around Liverpool as well. You know, the club staff always seemed to be speaking very highly of him. Looked absolutely great in the dressing room. But, you know, it does seem like there's an interest from Ralph Hasenhüttl in Takumi Minamino. And, I don't know, Kevin Palmer put it out there. David Ornstein broke the story that Danny Ings had turned down the contract offer that would have made him the highest paid player at Southampton. And then Kevin Palmer said, you know, if you make this and do that, then maybe this makes sense. And it kind of got me thinking, it's a fair point. And it could be another potential innovative way of doing a bit of transfer business that, I'm not saying it's a straight swap, I don't know what figures would be involved or anything like that, but it's not one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. I mean, just thought I'd put that out there to start with. Yeah. So there you go. For me, I'd take him at a punt. I mean, would I rather have Danny Ings coming off the bench or Divock Origi? Danny Ings every single day of the week. And look, he was very, very, very unlucky with some serious injuries. And look, he's missed time for Southampton as well. I'm not going to say that, you know, he's squeaky clean on that front, but I tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad option for me. That's all I'm saying on it. I'll leave it to you guys to see what you think on it. For a swap, I'd go for it, said Captain Sal. Saint want 40 million for Ings, bro. Look, what people ask and what they get are often different things, mate. And I'm not saying it would be a straight swap by any stretch of the imagination. But I think, I could be wrong on this. I think we might have a sell-on clause in the Ings deal. I think. Now, I'm not sure on that. Somebody could probably look into that for me. I just remember with some of the deals that we did recently, we had sell-on clauses. And if we did have a sell-on clause in Ings' contract, then that could, you know, bring the figure down because we would have been entitled to some of it anyway. If I'm right on that, which I may well not be. is all this true? Well, none of us know if anything is true, mate. What we do on the show is we have a discussion. We bring up newspaper articles, we talk about the transfer links, and we try and come to a general consensus on whether we think it's absolute poo-poo or there's something to it. This one, it could just be a good fit, a good idea. I'm not saying it's true or it's not true, but all I'm saying is it's not the worst idea that I've ever heard. Let me just put that out there. Margaret said, Ollie Watkins. I've not seen anything new on Ollie Watkins, and I do have a lot of stuff to go through tonight, Margaret, but nothing new on Ollie Watkins. But you know my take on him. I'd happily have Ollie Watkins at Liverpool. What else have we got? Origi and Takumi Minamino for Ings, in my opinion, said Sakina. I feel like I'm always late, said Michael. You're only like 3 or 4 minutes, dude. We're not on that long. Don't worry about it. Put Taki in the deal, said image not uploaded. Well, that was the conversation point that we were talking about, yeah. There is a 20% sell-on clause, some people are saying. There you go. God, my memory mustn't be as bad as I think it is. So yeah, there you go. Like, if we have a 20% sell-on clause for Ings, then it could make the deal easier. If, and it's a huge if, because it's all pie in the sky opinion stuff. Just thought it'd be an interesting one for us to kick off tonight anyway. So, who else are we going to talk about? Let's have a little chat around Mohamed Salah, shall we? Because that's the name that has most worried me and many others. And the story on Mohamed Salah, again, if I'm correct, and I think I am, I usually am on this one. 1 second. 2 things on Mohamed Salah. So one, it's been confirmed by the Egyptians under-23 manager that Mohamed Salah, along with another player, I think from Galatasaray, will not be going to the Olympics. So, you know, Liverpool made it clear on their stance that they didn't want any other players going to the Olympics the way the world is right now, and it looks like it has now been confirmed that Mo Salah will not be going to the Olympics. But there was another story doing the rounds today around Mohamed Salah, and let me just grab up the Anfield Agenda Instagram account because Connor put it on here. Where are we? 1 second. Yeah, so Liverpool, again, this comes from Kevin Palmer, I believe. It does indeed, yes. Liverpool are preparing to open contract negotiations with Mohamed Salah, but here comes the worrying bit. Apparently the player is yet unsure as to what to do because this will be the last big deal of his career. So we've gone from a point where I'm worried that Liverpool might not be offering Mohamed Salah a contract to a point where I'm now wondering if Mohamed Salah is wondering whether he should stay at Liverpool or not. And again, I will point to the fact that I'm almost certain there will be interest coming from Paris Saint-Germain around Mohamed Salah. We'll get on to talk around the Kylian Mbappe contract situation a little bit further along in the show. But look, all the club can do, I suppose, is make him an offer. And, you know, if he accepts the offer or doesn't accept the offer, you know, as long as the ball's in Mohamed Salah's court on this one, you know, then I'm happy from a Liverpool perspective. As a fan, I'm happy because I want them to offer him a new deal. He deserves a new deal. If Salah decides he wants to move on, you know, it's a different conversation we're having there, ladies and gentlemen. But it's worrying again, but for a different reason, isn't it? Now, again, we don't know the absolute truth of this. We don't know. Maybe Mohamed Salah is absolutely dying to sign a new contract at Liverpool. But I suppose until it's all signed, sealed and delivered, we're all going to be a little bit nervous. And rightly so, because Salah is a king and we all want him to stay. We love the man. He seems very happy from everything I've seen. He always speaks very well of Liverpool. Really enjoyed the end of season celebrations. He was loving his goals that he scored, celebrating Alisson's goal. So look, let's hope for the best on this one. Let's hope that we hear some positive news on it very soon, because, you know, we all do want Mo to stay. I don't know a single Liverpool fan that I've spoken to that wants Mohamed Salah to leave, and why would we? The man's a goal scoring machine. So that's the latest what we have with Mohamed Salah. Ings is 28. Yes, he is, mate. And nobody's saying we're going to sign Ings for the next 5-6 years. But, you know, if you got 3-4 years out of Danny Ings, you know, you've got the likes of Musialowski then coming through, Harvey Elliott coming through, other young prospects as well. So, you know, 28 still relatively young. And let's forget, Danny Ings has missed a lot of football because of injuries. So it's not like he has, you know, he's probably only played a 25-year-old's amount of football, if that makes any sense. Renato Sanchez. Everybody's wetting their pants to try and get the Renato Sanchez stuff. Yes, no problem. Let's move on to Renato Sanchez. Again, this depends on who you believe and what you believe. So some people are messaging me saying, Craig, I'm telling you, Renato Sanchez to Liverpool is really, really close. And some crowd over in France, I think it was, saying that Liverpool are genuinely interested in looking to sign Renato Sanches this summer. But one thing that I didn't know about, and I don't know if it's true or not, but lots of people keep messaging about, particularly Swansea fans actually, is that the lad has a terrible attitude. Now, I haven't got a clue. I don't know. Don't know Renato Sanches from Adam. Spoke the same thing about James Maddison recently. Heard the same thing about Danny Sturridge, and Danny Sturridge ended up being a top lad. So, do I think we have an interest in Renato Sanches? Yes, I do. Because, as I've said before, fits the profile. Do I think it's close? Genuinely don't know, but we're not the only club that's looking at him. Arsenal are apparently very interested in Renato Sanches as well. Now, let's be fair. If it comes to a shootout between Liverpool and Arsenal, he's only going one place, isn't he? If we really want him, he ain't going to Arsenal. He's got to come to Liverpool. With all due respect to Arsenal, you know, Klopp, Liverpool, players we have, Van Dijk, Champions League, you know, it makes sense. Now, 35 million euro seems to be the fee, but I do also want to point out that Bayern Munich do have an option to buy him back if they want. I don't know what the number is, if there is a number, but I know that they certainly put a clause in the contract when they sold him to Lille that they have first refusal on Renato Sanches. So, you know, maybe Bayern Munich have no intention of signing him, and I've yet to actually read anything that says that they do. But do I think we have an interest in him? It certainly fits the bill for me, fits the category. But then again, there's also been another midfielder heavily mentioned with over the last few days. We'll get on to him in a few minutes, but what do we think around Renato Sanches? I mean, we have Diogo Jota, obviously in the Liverpool camp, who could have had a little word in his ear in the Euro, so, you know, there is that. Obviously, he can come in, speaks Portuguese. You'll have Alisson there, speaks Portuguese. Firmino speaks Portuguese as well. Obviously, Diogo Jota. So, yeah, I mean, it does strike me as the type of player Klopp would go and sign. Somebody who, what is he now, 23 years of age, something like that, burst onto the scene, you know, was a prodigy at Benfica, got a big move, stumbled a little bit, happens with young players. You know, we've seen Mohamed Salah at Chelsea didn't work out. Just because his player hasn't worked out at one big club doesn't mean that he won't work out elsewhere. But the part that does worry me is if one of the reasons Munich moved him on was because of attitude issues, and I don't know if it was, I'm just making a conversation point, then that would worry me. But I suppose I know Jurgen Klopp wouldn't sign anybody that he has any doubts over in that department, because we know very well that Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool recruitment team delve very deep into all aspects of players' lives before they make such a big commitment. So what I think we can be sure of is if Liverpool do make the offer and if we do get Renato Sanches, I don't think that we'll have any attitude issues to worry about, because Klopp just simply wouldn't sign somebody that would have any. So Fabinho too, yes, of course, yeah, Fabinho obviously speaking Portuguese as well. So yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of good reasons there, isn't there? And I was very impressed with him. I haven't watched too much of him at Lille, I won't lie. I've seen a little bit towards the end of the season. I know we had, I think, a knee injury or something that kept him out for a while, but I was very impressed with what I seen with him at the Euro. Certainly looked night and day to the player I seen playing for Swansea. So look, I'd happily have Renato Sanches, and I think age profile, price. Can anyone tell me if he's rep by George Mendes? Because if he is rep by George Mendes and the Guest-a-Few agency, then I would say that there's an even bigger chance, because, you know, he did Jota's deal, he did Fabinho's deal, and I think we've done a couple more deals with George Mendes before as well. So if he is his agent, that would, and I don't know if he is, I don't know who his agent is, that would make me even more convinced that, yeah, you know what, there could be truth to this one. It is his agent. Yeah, there you go. There you go. If that's his agent, you know, we've got a relationship there. Fair to say. We've got stuff done with George Mendes. You know, Diogo Jota, Fabinho, 2 deals that just went like that. Nobody had that about. Boom, they're on planes on the way. Job done. So if that's his agent, it just to me would add more credence, more strength to these rumours. And I think, whereas we look at Mina Raiola and Daniel Malin, and we'll get on to that later on, you know, we'd all be a bit weary of that one, but we've a good working relationship with George Mendes. And George Mendes, and doesn't Deco represent, isn't he one of the agents actually for the Guest-a-Few agency? I remember seeing Deco in a couple of pictures, former Barcelona Brazilian player. So there you go. If that's the case, I think it only strengthens the fact that we could be in for him. But again, It's just a conversation, folks. Loving the jersey, said Dylan. Thank you. It's my wife bought it for me for my birthday last year, and I've never wore it on an Anfield Agenda stream because, you know, I was thinking I was just going to get dogs abuse for it, but I'm at a point now where I just don't care. I think people understand that I love loads of football shirts. I've got lots of different ones, and I just don't wear other Premier League ones. That's my only rule. Wolves are going to swoop for him because of George Mendes. I don't think that would necessarily be the case. No, of course, they have a great relationship with George Mendes. No doubt about that. Not denying that one bit, Shock. But, again, the better move would be to Liverpool, wouldn't it? You know, it would be far more sensible to move him on to Liverpool than to move him to Wolves. Ruben Neves could be leaving Wolves. We spoke about that before. So maybe, if that's the case, they could well be looking at him as a Ruben Neves replacement, even though slightly different in the way that they play. But for me, I think, would I rate this as a believable rumour? Yes. I would say, certainly, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd believe this one a solid 7. A solid 7 out of 10 for if I think there's any truth to it. Right, let's move on to... Why is Sean Steele saying Portuguese? I don't know what that means. Maybe that's what they speak in Brazil. I mean, I don't know if that answers your question, but... right, thoughts on Saul, people are saying. I suppose it depends who you believe. So again, I've read a couple of different stories today. So according to La Razón, who are some Spanish outlet, they go as far as to say that Liverpool are in agreement with Saul for a deal. We know that he has a €150 million buyout clause in his Atletico contract, but look, nobody was ever going to be paying that one. And I think that a figure of around, I think it's around 40 or 50 million euro seems to be a number that would get Atletico to do business. And one thing that, after looking into him a little bit, that I found out was he has an impeccable injury record. So if you're looking for somebody to come in and do a Gini Wijnaldum job on a lot of fronts, one of them being the fact he's always available, Saul is a man who doesn't miss games. I think 18 in his entire career so far. So, you know, seems to be absolutely bulletproof on the injury front. Good technical footballer. Originally, I didn't think there was much to it, but he certainly seems to be getting ushered out the exit door. And with the fact that there's another article that goes on to say that they basically want a little bit more than they're going to pay for Rodrigo de Paul. So Atletico look like they're going to be signing Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese for about €35 million. And it looks like that they want a few quid more than that to get Saul out the door. So, you know, again, at that price, either one would be a good buy. Very solid player, very technically proficient. You know, you don't play in that Atleti team without knowing how to be a bit of a shithouse as well, which is always a bonus in my book. So yeah, either of those two boys, and I'm happy. Renato Sanchez, Saul, sound. I didn't think the Saul stuff was genuine at first, but you know, if Atletico want to free up cash, and I spoke to you guys very early on in the window with saying that they may move on João Felix, they may move on Luis Suarez for that reason, to try and free up cash. Well, now it looks like Saul is the one they're willing to sacrifice to free up the cash, and I've not really seen links to him elsewhere. There was some links a while back with Man United, I think. But, I mean, what do you guys think in the chat? And if you're watching this back later on, if I gave you a straight option now of Renato Sanchez or Saul Niguez, who would you take and why? I mean, lash it into the chat and I'll get through as many of them as I can. Don't forget, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, as well, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. If you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, like, right on, look at that! Comment right on schedule. Became a member there of Anfield Agenda FC. It's $4.99 a month. Click on the blue join button or the link in the description. You get the Anfield Agenda emojis. You get into our Discord group and you get our logo beside your name and a few other bits and pieces. Welcome to the group, mate. Thank you, Comet, for becoming a member. Sorry, Craig, I missed the or out on shirt. I didn't see the comment, mate, but thank you. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure. I hope it's a nice shirt because it is a damn nice shirt. Right, let's go through your comments and see what we're all thinking. Northern Heat said, by the way, Craig, I saw something about Kanade, Saul and Doku all being under the same agency. I think it's called IMC or something. Is that something to keep an eye on? Well, yes. If that's true, mate, yeah. you know, it's always good if you've got a working relationship, a decent working relationship with an agency. And look, we've just signed Canade, so if that's true, if Jeremy Doku and Salah are part of the same agency, then yeah, I mean, good looking out, dude. Appreciate it. I'd take Ronaldo over Saul, said Vernon. Ronaldo Sanchez for Aiden. Sorry, Craig. No, I've already done that one. Ronaldo Sanchez for Spitfire. Sanchez, Ronaldo. It's an overwhelming Ronaldo Sanchez here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Ronaldo is younger. Yeah, I think he's 3 years younger than Saul. 26, if my memory's right. Look at that. That's why I like Bernadette and our other members as well. And Brian, that right there down in the chat. Every time somebody signs up to become a new member, they get a welcome, not just from me, but they get a welcome from the community. They're already members. And that's why I love you guys so much, because what a warm, welcoming, friendly, loving group of people you guys are. So, again, big up yourselves. I don't think I do a stream where I don't congratulate you on being awesome, because you're pretty goddamn awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I might have a little bit of good news around myself. I can't say anything yet because I'm still talking, but let's just say, and it's not That's Football, by the way, that's other news. We'll talk about that again. But I was approached by a very big media outlet to potentially come over for some filming this month, and it would be a great platform. I mean, I'm very excited about it. I was on the phone with them earlier on today. I can't give you any more information on this because nothing's been signed off yet, but let's just say your boy's making moves, and it's only because of you guys again, and because of your amazing support. So let's, I'll give you the details as and when I can. I keep nothing from you, but it's certainly going to be the biggest brand or media outlet I've ever worked with. Right, what else have we got? Welcome comment. Look at that. Love it. Hard to say so because of the injury record. Literally just said he's only missed, or hard to say, but Saul just because of the injury. Oh, sorry, mate, I read that wrong, George. My apologies. You're saying because Saul has such a good injury record, mate. Sorry, I read that wrong. This is why I sometimes double and triple read things, because I am a bit of an Amadon at times, mate. Neither Sanchez is injury prone. I mean, yep, you're entitled to your opinion as well, mate. I won't disrespect you for your opinion. What else have we got? By the way, I've loads more news to get through, so strap yourselves in. I am recording with my son at 10 o'clock, by the way, so I've got to be off by then. The Daddy and Lucas podcast gets recorded at 10 o'clock tonight, and it's just for me and him. Tonight's subject, just in case you're interested, Pokemon, which I'll be just sitting here going, oh yes, son, Pokemon, I know nothing about it, but he'll tell me and he'll fill me in and we'll have lots of fun, and that's what it's all about. Right. Craig, I joined. Is the Ronaldo Sanchez stuff legit? I just joined. It certainly looks credible, is what I'm going to say to you, mate. Now, until somebody's broken it, confirmed it, like, there are some agencies that think a deal is done, some that said we're interested, some that have said us and Arsenal are interested, but to me, it's a fit. And it's a fit that I can see for valid reasons. Can't believe Craig's going to be on Babe Station. No. Not yet, no, but I mean, hit me up, do you know what I mean? I'll get these baps out if needs be, call me. AFTV, no, I said I was actually going to go on something. We all know that there's not a fucking hope in hell I'd go on that channel. So, Wash and Go, well, are Wash and Go a media brand? I believe they're more of a shampoo and conditioner type company. No, this will be the biggest platform I've ever been on, trust me. So, just... say it, yeah. Twitch, no, already said no to them. Do you know what I mean? Fabrizio said LFC, AR. I mean, can I have the rest of that statement, Vernon? Or, we're just going to... I doubt Fabrizio just went on and go, ladies and gentlemen... I can't do an Italian accent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Liverpool, AR. And then just left Twitch, ended the stream. Cheers for watching. Is Marlon going Dortmund? Said Eclipse Wizard. My guess would be yes. Now, Mino Raiola has a good relationship with Borussia Dortmund, and Borussia Dortmund are kind of okay with being a stepping stone club to the extent that they bring in young talent, they give them a platform, keep them for a few years, and sell them on for a massive profit. Everybody wins on their front. They get a payday, they get the next young talent, Mino Raiola gets a few quid, the player gets a good move, So I think that Daniel Malin, I said to you guys before that they're monitoring Daniel Malin. I think that's where he's going to end up. I really do. I think that he's almost bound to be a Borussia Dortmund player. So, yeah. Red men. Why would I want to go on somewhere with less views? I said big, mate. So what I mean? They have more subscribers than us, but there's only one winner when it comes to views. Your boy. Nah. No, Redman have just ignored me. Always. Never even said hello, hi, nothing. James Redmond did drop me a message today. Well, a little. We followed each other on Twitter, so, you know, keep an eye out on that one. We may do a little something crossover someday. Seems like a good lad. And as I said, my door is always open. People don't believe me. Message me. Say hi. And, yeah, James did today. We followed each other. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll do a video together at some point. Seems like a nice lad. Definitely seems like somebody I could have a bit of fun with because, you know me, I like having a laugh, and he's definitely somebody that's up for having a laugh. So let's wait and see. The Redmen thing really did make me laugh, though. Nah, they just ignored me from day one, mate. The United stand. Why would I be on the United stand? I mean, I've been on there 3 or 4 times as opposition stuff already. Nah, it's not the happy hour, mate. You know, there's no joy. No joy in that one. And anyway, you could keep guessing and I just wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. So, Disney Channel. Okay, you've got me. I'm the new Mickey Mouse. Hi, everybody! Are you going to be the next James Bond? Yeah, that's it. 007. Romano has said it's done, question mark. I never said that. Never once said Romano said it's done, mate. I mean, putting words in my mouth here. What I've said. Romano said we'll sign more players only if we complete the contracts of Salah, Virgil, Fabinho and Alisson. That's... I mean, how do I say that's bullshit without saying that's bullshit? Bullshit that. Look, that they aren't mutually exclusive. I mean, we do want to sign up all those players that you're talking about, but what, it just makes no sense. So I think you've maybe misinterpreted what he said there. I'm guessing he said the priority will be to tie these players down to contracts and then we'll be looking at signings. That makes sense. What you've just said there, saying that we'll only make signings if we tie players down, is actually contradictory, because if they won't sign new contracts, you're more likely to buy new players and sell them on. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I'm thinking you've probably just typed it incorrectly. Any news on when the away jersey's been released? Not that I'm aware of, but I won't be buying it. I'm really liking that Barca jersey. It's a quality shirt, mate. It really is. Can we have another late one again? Yes and no. I've got to be off by 10 because me and my little dude are going to record something together. Is it Pornhub? No, it's Pornhub Premium. No, nobody. I mean, imagine paying to see me disappoint somebody for 15 seconds. Jesus, Scarlet for me. Right, well, let's get to go. There's so much to talk about here. We can, you know, the Pornhub stuff will be down the line. Or not. Right, Kylian Mbappe. So, RMC are apparently saying that Mbappe's stance has not changed. He will not be signing a new deal at Paris Saint-Germain. Now, again, I'm not saying this to say that he's going to come to Liverpool, because one or two things will happen there. Either he'll run down his contract or he'll be sold this summer. And again, my worry is that if the indications are that he's going to be sold this summer, I'm almost certain they're going to come knocking on Mohamed Salah's door. So, you know, the optimistic bunch among us will, of course, say, hello, Kylian. But, you know, realistically, somebody has to take him. Do you know what I mean? So, Real Madrid will move heaven and earth trying to make it happen. I've no doubt about that one. But it's very interesting to see how this plays out. Very, very interesting indeed. Yeah, so that's the latest on him anyway. He's apparently let it be known that he absolutely is not signing a new deal at Paris Saint-Germain. Right, Kingsley Coman. More stories around Kingsley Coman. So a French channel have claimed that Coman's agent, who's Pini Javi, another one of the super agents in case you didn't know, has sounded out Liverpool about a move for him. Now again, the number mentioned in this particular article is 50 million euro, but apparently Bayern have put it out there that the number they want is 90 million euro. So, you know, Kingsley Coman is a very good player, but coupled with the fact that he's had some injuries, that it's a high price, so let's even say the truth lies somewhere between 50 and 90, even 60, 65. For me, get Jeremy Doku. That's the answer. I think most of us would probably agree on that one. Go get Jeremy Doku, because we've a long held interest there, and if we've been monitoring him to see if he's progressed, well, it's obvious that he's progressed. So, you know, let's go get him. Let's just go get the lad. He looks tailor-made for us. Take Coutinho back. Goals from midfield needed. Don't call him a cunt. Where's he been scoring the goals from? Because he hasn't fucking played since January. Stop about Coutinho. They can't give the cunt away. They can't. They're like, have him, please. They can't give him away. He's on 250 grand a week, and they've been trying to get rid of him for 3 years. And yet some Liverpool fans are still like begging for him to come back. He literally pissed all over the club, faked injury, forced his way out, has gone backwards since he left Liverpool, and yet still, we have Liverpool fans going, oh, Coutinho, oh, come home for it. Fuck off, Coutinho, would be my answer. Just go away, mate. Great while you were here. Cheers, enjoyed it. All the great goals, loads of fun. Thanks for having us. But you made your bed. Now go lie in it. Maybe you have to put your leg up to lie in it because of that L knee injury. But some people are just... I don't think some people are attached to reality, or at least pay attention to what's actually going on with the lad's career. He's... Oh... Deep breaths. Deep breaths. They know not what they do, Craig. They know not what they do. And we don't need him as well. Yeah, there's that as well. And coupled to the point, we don't actually play with somebody in his type of position. You know, he was here when Klopp came to Liverpool. So it's not like Klopp went out and bought him, or Klopp went out and bought a similar type of player. Do I rate Pedri? Yes, fine footballer, Christian. But I think Barca will, you know, try and keep him. I know he's got 1 year left on his deal. His famous back injury problems. Yeah, my neck, my back, I'm going to ask my Marlon. I think he'll end up at Dortmund. So, you know, the whole Mina Raiola relationship thing there, and the fact that, you know, it's been publicised that Dortmund are looking for some replacements. Elliott to start. It's tough to know what will happen with Harvey Elliott. I hope he starts soon. I hope we see a lot of him, because, you know, he's an undoubted talent. But as I said to you before, if we're looking for the future and we're looking 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you know, having a Harvey Elliott and a Jeremy Doku and a Musialowski and a Curtis Jones and a Conor Bradley and a Caoimhín Kelleher and a Billy Comedio, and, you know, you can almost see the next generation there coming through. So yes, you've got to look to the players that are in the here and now and are performing really well, but nothing wrong with a little sprinkling of youth in there as well that can be dropped in and out, given a bit of game time. And, you know, we've seen with the likes of Mason Mount, when he was thrown in at the deep end of Chelsea, he swam because he's a good footballer. Phil Foden had to, you know, bide his time at Manchester City, and now he's reaping the rewards of that. So, you know, I think it has to be a mixture of, you know, obviously trying to keep what we have now and going out there and getting the best up-and-coming young talent, even if some of them are somewhat proven already. Mr. Super Chat. Okie doke. Are you doing a watch-along tomorrow with Mark? Yes, I am, Scott. Yes, I will be doing the Italy-Spain game with Mark tomorrow. Yes, and I'll be on Anfield Agenda for the England game on Wednesday at 7:30 if you want to join us for that one. But yes, I am indeed, Scott. I will be there tomorrow. Craig, is Doku the young Belgian lad? Yes, he is. He plays for Rouen in France. Doku or Coman? I'd rather Doku, to be honest. Now look, would I turn my nose up at Kingsley Coman? No, of course not. He's a fine footballer, great pedigree at Bayern Munich, you know, doing really well with France. Has a somewhat sketchy injury record, but that's not unusual with players with explosive pace like that. But to me, financially wise, excuse me, I should say, and with regards to, age, I think Jeremy Doku is the far more sensible option. But I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no at all. Would I take Barella? Mate, I would swim to Italy to get Nicola Barella. I said it again. I owe someone an apology. I should get one of these jars that I have to stick €1 in every time I say Barella's name wrong. Would I take Barella? Yes. In a heartbeat. 100 yeses. He's top of my list. Numero uno, number one with a bullet. But Inter Milan don't seem to need to free up as much cash anymore, having got the deal for Hakimi to PSG done. So, I think he wants to stay. They want to keep him. But would I have him? You bet your backside I would, mate. He is a baller of the highest order. What else we got? You never buy because of a good tournament. Look at Juff. We signed him in Elka. Just got sick of my mouth. I don't think I've suggested to buy just because of a good tournament, Crick. You are spot on in what you've said. And I've said this before, Liverpool aren't reactionary in what they do with their transfer business. We monitor people for 2, 3, 4 years, before doing anything. So you are right. We absolutely made a hames of it before, and we should have signed an Elka, just like you said, buddy. And we ended up with a massive disappointment. But I don't think that's something we do these days. I don't know if you've picked up on something I've said wrong, or if the fact that I spoke about Doku having a good tournament, by that I meant I haven't been watching him in France, or maybe Renato Sanchez, same thing. But, the club will certainly have been looking at these guys and won't make a reactionary signing. You're spot on about that one. Ikone links have gone quiet. They have, Vernon, yeah. And I don't know if it's because, Lille are only going to be willing to get rid of so many players this summer, because, let's look at it. There's so many of their players that people are trying to sign. Otavio. So on Otavio, what we have is a situation where originally FC Porto had hoped and thought that Wolves were going to take up the €20 million option on Vintne. Was that the guy's name, or Vintne? I can't remember his name. I just keep thinking of Vimto every time I say it. Anyway, the guy that was at Wolves, and Wolves don't seem to want to take up the option to buy him. I think Oliveira was another player they were moving on, but they want Marco Grujic. Marco Grujic seems to like the idea of going to Porto. And the agent of Otavio has come out and said that although his release clause has now increased, a sensible offer because of their financial situation could see a deal done for the playmaker, who has been linked with Liverpool. So, again, take from that what you will. It's another one of those where he's 26 years of age. If Klopp wants him, Klopp's been impressed by the Brazilian lad. It should be a fairly straightforward deal to make, because they want Marco Grujic, and Grujic seemed, often at times we say, throw a player in, but sometimes the player would have no interest in it. Grujic seems quite happy to stay at Porto, and why wouldn't he? They're a fine club. So yeah, that's one that if the manager wants, I can see Michael Edwards getting that deal done fairly straightforward. And his agent as well, speaking publicly about it, does look like the lad is going to be on the move somewhere. Is Elliot a creator or a goal scorer? He's an attacking wide player, mate. Right, sorry, I've missed some more comments. Want to get back over them. Rafinha from Leeds. So I don't think we actually ever really had interest in Rafinha from Leeds. Now, we were certainly linked to him, but from what I've been told, that was not from our end. By ours, I mean Liverpool. Obviously I don't speak for Liverpool. What else we got? Doku reminds me of Mane. I can see it, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense. Jeremy Doku just screams like a Liverpool signing. And, yes, please, is all I'm going to say. Would I take Ings back? Yeah, we started off talking about Danny Ings at the start of the stream. And so on Danny Ings, he's been offered a new 4-year deal at Southampton, which would make him the highest paid player in the club's history. He's turned it down. He's 28 years of age, and he wants to move on to bigger things. Now, that was broken by David Ornstein, but another journalist, Kevin Palmer, put out there, well, if Southampton want Takumi Minamino, would it be worth Liverpool maybe taking a punt and bringing Danny Ings back? And I have to say, I'm sure there would be money involved in it on top of Takumi Minamino, but I'd take a punt on him. I just think he was really unlucky at Liverpool, and you probably have to accept the fact that he might miss some games, but none of us can deny that Danny Ings knows where the back of the net is. I mean, he's top notch when it comes to scoring goals. So I suppose, it's a long-winded answer, mate, but yeah, I probably would take him back. I'd put it this way, I'd certainly be more comfortable bringing him off the bench than Divock Origi. What are the chances of getting Mbappe? I mean, I wouldn't be putting any money on it, but we're all allowed to dream. But, I think dreaming is as far as it's going to go. All we can look at is the history of our owners and what they've done previously. And even when we have brought in money for Coutinho and we went out and signed Big Virgil and we signed Alisson, you're still not talking about the type of wages that will, I think we could afford the transfer fee for I was going to say Felipe Coutinho. See what you've done to me there, you naughty people. I believe we could probably afford the transfer fee for Mbappe, but can we afford to give him 400, 500 grand a week? Well, yeah, I highly doubt it. As much as we'd all love it. Apparently, Saul Niguez is extremely close. Your thoughts? I've already given them, mate. There's two trains of thought here. Both of them around two midfielders. Renato Sanchez, Saul. Both of them different agencies. One Spanish outlet has claimed that Liverpool are, already made an offer and are deep into negotiations about Saul. And then you've got other places saying that Liverpool have almost completed a deal for Renato Sanchez with Lille. I asked the chat earlier on, what their preference would be, and it was overwhelmingly in favour of Renato Sanchez. So, to me, both good midfield options. And if Liverpool sign either one of them, I'm not going to be unhappy about it. So, my gut would say that Sanchez is probably more likely because he strikes me as more of a profile of player that Klopp would go for. But if you want some experience in there and somebody is bulletproof with regards to injuries, then, Saul could be a very good option as well. But either one, I ain't complaining. Do you know what I mean? I'm not complaining if we sign either one of them. What happens to Musialowski this season? Again, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because where do you strike that balance between progression and throwing him in at the deep end? So, I don't know is the honest answer what will happen with Musialowski this season. He's not at the club that long, but he is very highly thought of, and we've seen with Ryan Brewster that unfortunately the pathway didn't make its way available for Ryan Brewster for one reason or another, and he was sold. I don't know what would happen with Musialowski. My gut would say potentially a loan. Where to, I wouldn't have a clue. But, he's still a young lad, so be patient is all I'd say. Craig, don't you think Klopp needs to push the transfers too sometimes? I think, Klopp will he doesn't strike me as a shrinking violet, mate. I think he's somebody who will certainly push his opinion across to the owners, and he is on the transfer committee. So, I don't think we'd sign a player Klopp doesn't want, put it that way. Get Barella. You've got my vote, Pezzo, but, I don't think Inter want to sell him. Would I take Locatelli? For me, it would be complete match of the day stuff because I've only really watched them at the Euros. What will happen with Curtis? I think he'll be in and around the first team getting more game time this season. Curtis Jones is ready. I mean, he's to me, Curtis. I think of him as a genuine midfield option now. I don't think of him as a young lad anymore. I think of Curtis Jones as one of our midfielders. So he won't let us down, no doubt about it. Curtis Jones, proper baller, full of belief, ready to go. Drop him in, no problem. So yeah, I think Curtis Jones will get his fair share of games, and rightly so, because he's a damn fine footballer. Money aside, would Mbappe be a good fit in the team? Yeah, of course. You can never have too many wide attacks. Here's my theory, and I've always said it. If something like that was to happen, and we didn't have to sell Mohamed Salah, whack Mohamed Salah through the centre as a striker, and put Kylian Mbappe out on the right hand side, or put Kylian Mbappe through the centre, although he might struggle when teams sit deep because there won't be the space in behind. But either way, I'm not complaining if he comes in, and any team would find a space for him. So yeah, Curtis Jones is legit, Mr. Anderson. He's top notch, no doubt about it. There was the turning point for me. There was two actually on Curtis Jones. Not turning points, because that implies that I ever doubted him. There were two times where I looked at Curtis Jones and I thought, this motherfucker has what it takes. Like this dude is legit. One was when he gave Harvey Elliott a bollocking, when Harvey Elliott was moaning about a penalty or something. Curtis Jones was the captain and he let him know what was up. And secondly, it was an interview after, I don't know if it was the Arsenal game or the game he scored the goal against Everton, but there was an interview that just basically said, I want to play. I'm here. I'm ready. I let the manager know. I'm good to go. Like, I'm obviously paraphrasing there, but you could see he was chomping at the bit, and he's full of self-belief, and yeah, he's just got the mentality. You can just see by looking at Curtis Jones that nothing's going to faze this dude. He believes, he knows he's good, and good. That's great. More of him, please. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how Curtis Jones' career progresses, because he's top notch. People on Twitter saying swap Jones for Ronaldo. I'm actually lost for words to a degree. I mean, can you see Curtis Jones playing for Lille? Does Curtis Jones strike you as the type of fella that's always wanted to go and play in France or play for Liverpool? And I don't know who these people on Twitter are, so, but I can tell you that they're very foolish, if anybody's saying that. Fuck me, I mean, talk about not backing our talent and our players. Jesus. Curtis Jones could be one of these generational players for Liverpool. Do you know, I'm genuinely astonished, absolutely astonished that anybody would say that. Seen some Basuma links today. What do I think? They'll probably be there until we sign somebody else or he goes somewhere else. Again, another good fit, by the way. I mean, Basuma's a good footballer and could definitely do a good job, but it does seem to have gone a little bit quiet on him. Arsenal were linked with him as well. But yeah, again, just somebody who I wouldn't give out about if Liverpool signed. Bayern have a buyback clause for Ronaldo. That is correct, Samuel. Will they activate it? As of yet, there hasn't been any indication that they're going to. And Bayern usually are fairly swift in the way that they go about their business. So, my belief is that Neuhaus, I know he's denied it, but I think from just looking at everything available and trying to, put two and two together, I think Neuhaus will end up at Bayern Munich next season. He'll do one more year at Mönchengladbach, maybe halfway through the season you'll see an announcement say that they've reached an agreement and he'll go there. That's my take on it. Does Shaqiri deserve a starting place? No, not for me. Nowhere near consistent enough. Far too many injuries, and is probably going to go to Lazio. So for me, I've been very consistent in my answer. He can be a good option, but no. What's the rumour price tag for Saul? Somewhere between 40 and 50 million euro, even though he has a buyout clause of 150 million euro. But even Atleti are admitting that that's not realistic. Is Tielemans gone quiet? No, we spoke about him yesterday. So Paul Stewart, former Liverpool player, said that, I don't know if he said he wouldn't be surprised or he's confident. I mean, I'll go with the he wouldn't be surprised bit because I don't want to put words in his mouth that were wrong. But basically said that he'd like to see, or wouldn't be surprised to see Yuri Tielemans in a Liverpool shirt next season. And again, another player who I would put up absolutely zero argument to, other than, the money that Leicester might want for him, because Leicester get top dollar for the players. I've said this time and time again. So if Tielemans does want to move on and Liverpool are interested, I think we'd all be happy with that one. But I mean, it is good that we're at a point now where we're like saying Renato Sanchez we'd be happy with. Some people would be happy with Saul. I don't know. I gauge most people would be okay with Basuma. We'd definitely all be happy with Yuri Tielemans. Neuhaus, I think most of us would be happy with. So all these midfielders that we're being linked with, you know, most of the time we're going, yeah, consider that'll be all right. Take a bit of that. Nice shirt, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I love it. I just never get a chance to wear it on streams, but I said today, feck it, I'm gonna wear it anyway. Would you sign a number 9 or a winger? Well, as I said, I'd go for a pacey wide player, and somebody who can play across the front three, because I really do. I know we keep banging on about it, but I really, really do like the idea of putting Mo through the centre. I think that as he gets older, would have to rely on his pace a little bit less. Think of Ronaldo, although of course he's 6 years younger than Cristiano, but Ronaldo reinvented himself. Messi has dropped a little bit deeper at times during his career. And I think that maybe Mohamed Salah will reinvent himself as just an out-and-out goal scorer. So that, to me, I mean, imagine having him through the centre, and then you've got, imagine playing like a 4-2-3-1, and you've got, two holding midfielders there. Let's say you've gone for Fabinho and Henderson, or maybe you go a bit more adventurous, you go Thiago and Hendo, or it doesn't matter who the two are. And then you've got 3 ahead of them, so you've got Sadio Mane to choose from, Bobby Firmino to choose from, Diogo Jota to choose from, maybe Harvey Elliott to choose from, Jeremy Doku perhaps to choose from. And that's before you look at the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, or, it starts to get exciting. Thanks for answering my question. No problem, dude. That's, try my best to get through as many as I can. Mo can play false 9. His passing is underrated. Mo can play anywhere, to be honest. I agree with you. He's just brilliant. A midfielder and a forward, said go, Ishan, go. Again, yeah, I think you're not too far off. Oh, there was a story on Tsimikas, sorry. There was one more story I forgot to mention. So another one actually on Daniel Malin said that Eindhoven are expecting him to be sold within 2 weeks, and they say Borussia Dortmund are in pole position. Now, sorry, Eindhoven don't say that, but the article says that Dortmund are in pole position for him. Harry Wilson, interestingly enough, I forgot this one. We spoke about Porto earlier on. Well, apparently Porto are also interested in Harry Wilson. So Harry Wilson, Marco Grujic, give us Otavio, job's a good one. So, this goes on to say that, and this again comes from Duncan Castles, who, most of us are well aware. He's a very pro Jose Mourinho United type of journalist. But what I'm hearing and what I'm told, that there's interest from Porto in the player, and that the interest is driven by Sergio Conceição. The coach led them to the title last season and provided them significant success in the Champions League. So, I mean, that could be a decent move for Wilson, gone over there to Porto. Champions League football, wonderful footballing club, great fan base. I mean, great weather, great food. I mean, I wouldn't say no if I was in his position. Right, so there's an article in Calcio Mercato who go on to say that Kostas Tsimikas is a target for Inter Milan. Now, again, there's mixed messages on here, because some people are saying that Tsimikas, the club are looking at him as ready to go and, fully up to speed now in case we need cover for Robbo. But there's been more than one article lately that suggested he could be about to make a move away. And look, Inter Milan, this piece goes on to say that Inter Milan are interested in him. I again don't know what's true and what isn't true, but it would worry me if we didn't bring in another backup. I mean, whatever we're talking about Conor Bradley and options that we have at right back, if Nico Williams moves on, we know we've been screwed at left back before if Robbo got injured. I mean, James Milner can play there, but even at that, it's not a like for like replacement, because Milner, being a right footer, would have to often cut back onto his side, and it slows down some attacks, and he hasn't got the pace of he has got the engine of Robbo because it's James Milner. But I would imagine if there is any truth to Tsimikas leaving, surely we have to go out there and get another option, another backup option. What have we got? Thoughts? I don't know who that is. Milo, sorry mate, I've got no idea who that is. So you'll have to... I don't know mate, no idea. I love Craig and his forehead. It could be described as a 5 head, mate, some might say. It's always shiny though. You gotta give me that. I mean, show me a shinier head on any stream. Do you know what I mean? I make sure that this is on fleek every day for you, ladies and gentlemen. Back up at right back to Trent. It looks like it will be either Joe Gomez or Conor Bradley, who's a young Northern Irish guy coming up through the underage system if Nico Williams looks to move on. That's what's being put out there anyway. What's your dream realistic signing this season for Liverpool? Barella would be my dream signing. I said that before. And you know, and that's a realistic. Like Mbappe is the answer, but you said realistic, and it's more realistic than Mbappe, but probably still fairly unrealistic. Jeremy Doku, I would love as well. Pedro Neto, I still like to look at him. I think Harvey Barnes would be a very good signing for Liverpool. Tielemans be a good signing for Liverpool. Yeah, most of the names that have been mentioned to us actually are names where I go, yeah, okay, sounds fair, sounds realistic. The big problem comes with not wanting to lose Mohamed Salah. Everything around this summer to me involves around Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho. Tie them all down to new deals, and after that we get a couple of players and I'd be happy with that. Thoughts on Rice to Chelsea? I mean, if the price tag is believed, I think he's not worth the money. Do I think Declan Rice is a good footballer? Absolutely. But, I mean, I don't know what you've seen, but I've seen as much as 90 million being mentioned for Declan Rice. And with all due respect, as good a footballer as Declan Rice is, there is far better options out there in the market in Europe for half the price. But if you're not worrying about price and you just want a player in, you know, good player. Should we go in for Camavinga? No. I know United, I know it was put out there by Fabrizio that United are interested in him as well. My own gut feeling is that he'll end up at PSG. That's what I've read for a long time. But, you know, if United make a big enough move for the kid, you know, and, you know, there's talk of perhaps Donny van de Beek being included as part of the deal to take Rafa Varane from Real Madrid to Manchester United. Now, that's what Real Madrid would apparently like. I'm not saying United want to get rid of Donny van de Beek. In fact, I don't know if they do or don't. But apparently Madrid would like him to come in if Varane goes the other way. But yeah, United, PSG, they seem to be the biggest or most likeliest destinations for Camavinga at the minute. Did I see Ronaldo Sanchez Instagram? Is this the post where he was on the private jet and João Felix said come to Atletico and he put a winky or smiley face emoji or something? If that's the case, then yes. Rice is basic at best, insanely overrated. This is a warning from a United fan. I mean, well, I don't have to worry. We've got Fabinho, mate. Do you know what I mean? We're all sound. We've got Fabinho and I wouldn't swap him for anyone. Let's just buy the whole Leicester team. Yeah, why not? Let's make him the new Southampton. I mean, there's a fair few players I'd take. I'm not going to lie to you. Leicester are very, very, very good at signing players. I'm not gonna. I'm still raging that they signed Patson Daka and that we didn't go for him. I still genuinely annoyed by that. Canade or Gomez? It's hard to know, Katrina, until we see them alongside Van Dijk and how the partnership's working, and you know what Gomez's fitness is going to be like, how quickly Ibrahima Canade will adapt. But I tell you what, it's a great headache. It's a wonderful headache for the manager to have. We need to sign Martin Odegaard. Well, look, I mean, we know that we tried previously. Before he went to Real Madrid, we tried, and it looks like he's gone back to Real Madrid. Arsenal aren't going to get him on a permanent basis. And, you know, another very good player who I would happily have at Liverpool. But, you know, did really well at Real Sociedad. You know, did quite well at Arsenal. But it looks like Madrid want him back. So I'd say he'll probably end up staying at Madrid. But if he is available, again, another one we should be sniffing around, definitely. Craig, can you see Liverpool playing three at the back? I'd like to see us have a bash at it, but I've read a few articles that suggest that we won't see that big of a shift in formation. And if you're going to play three at the back, you would want to have at least 6 centre-backs. I mean, 6 ready to go. So let's look at what we have. Gomez, Van Dijk, Canade, Gomez, Van Dijk, Canade, Joel Matip. That's 4. Then, of course, we still have Ben Davies, who none of us have seen play football. Nat Phillips, still technically a Liverpool player. Billy Comedio, Sepp van den Berg, probably going to go back out on loan. So I think we'd need at least one more high-tier centre-back. So the signs suggest that no. Now, on a one-off occasion, maybe he'd go with Gomez, Van Dijk, and Canade if he wanted to, in Europe or something, and he wanted Trent and Robbo to push further up the pitch, or, maybe he wanted to use Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right-hand side, and at a push, Robbo could play the left side of a back three as well. Fabinho could play in the back three, so it's something I'd like to see us try, even in pre-season, just to see how it gets on. I think Reece Williams will go on loan, but yeah, Reece Williams is another option that we have at the club right now as well. What else have we got? Hey Bernadette, how are you? Nice to see you back in. Rob Shepherd, nice to see you as well, dude. Is Virgil fully fit? Well, there's 2 answers to that. He's not match fit, because he couldn't be. But I think he's quite far along in his recovery. I mean, you've probably seen the videos of him whacking balls in top bins and all. Like, he's looking in good nick, but, nothing can replicate match fitness until you get the minutes in your legs. So I would say that pre-season will be important. Someone said I missed the super chat. I did indeed. Harry said, what's the news on Sanchez? I missed the story. So a couple of people believe that it's really, really close, mate. And one article has gone as far as to say that Liverpool have opened negotiations over Renato Sanchez. And then other people suggest that yeah, we are interested. Arsenal are also interested. But I think one way or another, his future will become very clear over the coming days. And I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10 that he could sign. My gut instinct would say he's more likely than Saul from Atletico. So, I never want to say anything's guaranteed because I don't know. But a lot of signs are starting to point to there could be genuine truth to this. So yeah, let's just wait and see what happens, and I think everything will become clearer in the next week or two. Not just on him, but on a lot of stuff. Have I missed anything else? Barella, I've done it loads of times. I want him, but not as much as I want. Hey Jude. We all want a bit of Jude. How many choo-choos does he get? He gets a double chew, doesn't he? Choo-choo! Jude Bellingham next summer. Get it done. And I think we might. I really have a good feeling about this one. Agent Hendo's been doing bits. And, away on international duty. Jude Bellingham's thrown googly eyes towards, Steven Gerrard in the past. And a lot of things are making me think that Jude Bellingham could be a Liverpool player. So any United fans watching, I said this before, you looked at Jadon Sancho and you always thought he's going to be a United player. Even when the negotiations were dragging on and it was last year and we were linked at one point, United fans went, you just got the feeling he was going to end up there. With me, and I can't speak for everybody in the chat, I look at Jude Bellingham and I go, he's got Liverpool written all over him. It just has Liverpool written all over him. To me. Pedri or Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham. He just... Yeah. Yeah. He just screams Liverpool to me. He really does. Where do I think Danny Ings will go? I know this might sound absolutely insane, but bear with me. We did the Liverpool link earlier on, but I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester City had a little sniff around Danny Ings. So I genuinely wouldn't be. So they've lost Aguero. Gabriel Jesus has been non-plus and, is maybe surplus to requirements. So let's say they go out there and they go big and they get Harry Kane, as an example. So let's say they get that deal done. They might bring Danny Ings in as a backup. Particularly if maybe they move Sterling or something on as well. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just a little thing at the back of my mind. Jude Bellingham or Sanchez? The answer to any of your questions is Jude Bellingham. Ings will go to Spurs. No, he's looking to make a step forward in his career. Forward. You know, he's no interest in playing in the Europa Conference League at Spurs. Sorry, Spurs fans. I couldn't help it. It was low-hanging fruit. I had to pick it. Craig, would you rather Salah sign a new deal or have Bellingham? In your scenario, Salah doesn't sign a new deal, so I'd sell him next year and get Bellingham, and that will give Harvey Elliott another year, and hopefully we've gotten Jeremy Doku, and that would make me feel a bit better because we'd still get one more year of King Mo. He'd be 30 then. We'd still get decent money from, not the money we will get this year, so I'll be greedy. See what I did there? I kind of used your own words against you to some extent. But yeah, I feel like Danny is a Leicester City player. I don't think. I mean, it would have been a great shout, mate. Don't get me wrong, but after they went and signed Patson Daka, they have Jamie Vardy there. They've got Kylie Iheanacho signed a new contract as well. I don't think Leicester need any more forwards at this moment in time, but it would have been a decent shout. All right, you got a good fit. We should get Neto over Salah. There is a thought prospect that Neto was somebody who in a year's time we could go back in for. Obviously he's had an injury and stuff. I think I spoke to you about a good piece Andrew Beasley wrote around Pedro Neto and Liverpool keeping an eye on that situation. Again, somebody who as far as I'm aware is under the Guest a Few agency with George Mendes. So yeah, there you go. Jude or Haaland? I'm not even going to answer that question because there is more hope of me coming in here tomorrow looking like George Clooney than there is of Liverpool signing Haaland for various reasons. Do I stream on Twitch? No, I did have a call with Twitch, and Connor and I did speak with Twitch during the week. You know, they reach out to us. They're trying to make a move in the sports market, and we won't be moving Anfield Agenda across to Twitch, but I'm not saying I'll never do it on Twitch because, you know, it's a platform that of course should be explored, but I feel for us, if we were to do it on Twitch, it would have to be something new, something completely from scratch, because Anfield Agenda's home is on YouTube, and Anfield Agenda's home will always be on YouTube. So never say never, but not at this moment in time. It's not in our immediate plans. But it's definitely a platform that is looking to add more people from the sports world into their audience, or into their creators, I should say. Excuse me. They're definitely looking to branch out from just gaming and stuff. And they've got Fabrizio now. Well, yes, they do. That was I was teased with that on the phone call. Actually, they wouldn't say who it was, but they did say somebody big was being announced on the Thursday. And it ended up being Fabrizio, of course. My weird question about that, though, is what happens when the window closes? Because, you know, he's a good journalist and all, but he's known for transfers. So surely the furore or the hoopla will die down a bit when the window closes. Now, there's always talk of players signing new deals and future stuff, but will it be enough to keep the same interest level? I'm intrigued to see how that works out. Obviously the Kickoff have gone on to Twitch and they've done well over there as well. But now this is our home. Do you know what I mean? This is our home. So yeah. He said he'll do gaming. Well, there you go. There you go. I was talking about this last night with Connor about gaming, and I'd love to do like Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, Crash Bandicoot. What other games would I say I'd do? There's about 5 games that I would be willing to play. Oh, virtual tennis. Hi Craig, hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, thank you, Tom. Hope you are as well. Good luck with your podcast with your son. Thank you. You know, I said to Connor, if I'd be more worried about the bad language from him than me on the stream. So that's why we keep these things, just Daddy and Lucas just gets saved for us. And there was one more thing I wanted to say before I head off. Oh yes, I'm almost 90% certain, so almost 90% would be 89%, that Mundo Sporto will become my channel. As in, not a sports channel, just Craig's channel for some stuff I have up my sleeve, which is going to be really fun. So those of you who keep asking what's happening with Mundo Sport, because we haven't really done that on there in a while, I think it's going to be me. We're going to rename the channel to a name that I'm not going to leak yet because I don't want it nicked on me. But yeah, I'm really looking for. I've already got 2 or 3 banging ideas for stuff I want to do on there, and it's going to have nothing to do with sport. It's just going to be madness, and I mean that in the, you know, you've seen little glimpses of me when I go off on my mad little tangents and have fun. Well, expect that times 100 with the shit I have planned. Trust me, it's going to be fun. Craig penalty challenge. That would involve Craig stepping up, Craig falling over, Craig breaking hip, ball trickling towards the goal. Cooking, nah, none of that shit. I'm not going to copy what anybody else has done. I've got some of my own ideas that, yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have loads of fun on it. So keep an eye out for that one. Make sure that you don't unsubscribe to Mundo Sport though, because you like what's coming. Do you make money off YouTube? Not yet. No, I don't take a wage from it because I would. I've explained this all before. Soon, I hope to. Very soon. Do a house tour. Be fucking short, mate. You know what I mean? I live in a 3-bed council gaff, so be a short house tour. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes to 10. Gotta go. Gotta do the Daddy and Lucas podcast. Tomorrow I will be over on That's Football for the Italy-Spain game with Mark Goldbridge. So come across and watch that one. I'll probably be live tomorrow night on here afterwards for a late night agenda, and then on Thursday we will be putting out the that's Wednesday. Yeah, recording it on Wednesday. Wednesday I'll be here for the England game. I'll be doing a watch along of it with thanks to our sponsors Boiled Sports. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are absolute legends. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and have yourselves an absolutely cracking week. I love each and every one of you. Take care.